Hello, it's me. Guess where I'm at today? Oh, you guessed it. I can't fool any of you. I'm in the kitchen. Guess what I'm going to make today out of these simple ingredients? I'm going to make some homemade tomato soup. Everybody is familiar with tomato soup. Well, I would say most of you are. A while back, I figured out a way to make my own tomato soup. Now, I don't have anything against the canned tomato soup. It's held me in good stead for years and years and, years. But I just want to demonstrate to you a way that you can make tomato soup with very simple ingredients. And it will be so delicious that I tell you, you probably won't ever go back to the other way. Okay, this is what we've got. Are you ready? It's going to be really complicated. That wouldn't be right, would it? Okay, what I have here is I have a can of fire roasted diced tomatoes. This is the Happy Harvest brand from Aldi. You can use any brand you want. Normally, I would use just regular diced tomatoes without seasonings, but I'm out of those. I have plenty of these, so I'm going to use this can. Flexible, huh? Okay, I've got a bag of frozen carrots, onions, and celery that I froze myself. It was some that I had chopped up for another dish for a salad, and I had some left, so I popped them in the freezer so they wouldn't go bad. That's part of my ingredient preparation. Have those in the freezer, very handy. I may or may not use all of these. It kind of depends. So, we'll see. But I'm sort of leaning towards using all of them. Now, I'm going to use almond milk because I'm going to make a creamy tomato soup. I'm using the almond milk because that's what I happen to have, and I just don't have enough of regular milk. So I'm going to use this. Believe me, I have made this soup many times with almond milk. And what does that do? It doesn't change the flavor of it. It doesn't change the look of it. It's absolutely delicious and creamy. But it does turn this tomato soup from a vegetarian or regular soup with milk into a vegan soup. And there isn't anything wrong with that. And I have salt and pepper. Salt and pepper. Okay. So, I'm going to get to it. I'll show you. I'm going to pause it for just a second here, long enough, because, I need both of my handy pandies, and I'm going to get this started and show you where I'm at. All right. Now, stick with me. You don't want to miss this. Oh, and another thing I got out my handy dandy trusty blender, my big boy. Okay? Gotta have that. All right, that's what you need, so we're going to get to it. Stay there. Don't leave. Okay, you can get another cup of coffee, but don't leave me. Okay, hang on. Okay. This is what I did. I took a couple of tablespoons of that olive oil and I put it in the pan, and then I actually did put the whole bag of vegetables in there. And you can see maybe that the onion that I have in there is purple onion because that's what I happen to have at the time. So I've got my bag in there. There's probably, probably a cup and a half, maybe 2 cups of vegetables. And the reason I'm starting them in the olive oil is because I want them to sweat out their liquid and their flavors. Now, you notice I'm not putting any garlic or anything else in here. I did sprinkle a little salt and pepper over the top. And I'll salt and pepper as I go, tasting as I go, but the salt helps them to sweat out their juices and their flavor. Now, I want these to soften up a little bit before I add my tomatoes. So once they do, I'm going to add the tomatoes, and then I'm going to turn my heat down. I'm going to simmer them together so that they can get cozy and familiar and, you know, feel good about each other. Okay. And then I'll show you what I'm going to do from there. Seriously, this is so easy. You're going to see how easy this is. And it's pretty quick, especially if you have a few vegetables prepared ahead of time. Okay? Now then, if you don't and you're going to chop them up fresh, by all means do that. Oh my goodness, don't let that stop you. And you notice it doesn't take very many. There's probably, I don't know, a couple of carrots, there's a couple of stalks of celery, it's not even a whole onion. So it really doesn't take very much to get a lot of goodness out of this. Now, I'm going to cook these down, let those juices cook down a little bit, and then I'm going to add the tomatoes. But see there, it's not quite there yet. They're just not there. And what I want them to do, I want most of this liquid, see that liquid? I want most of that to be gone. Not all of it, because I don't want them to brown. You don't want them to brown, and you don't want them to caramelize. You just want the liquid to be gone. Okay? Now, if you want to put other seasonings and spices in here, by all means, do it. I want my tomato soup to taste like tomato soup. I'm not putting garlic. I'm not putting Italian seasoning. I'm not putting anything like that in there. I am simply going purist on this, pretty much. Now, there are some seasonings in the diced tomatoes because they're fire roasted. But other than that, no, I'm keeping it simple. Okay, now, hear that? Oh, that water is just about gone, so you know what gets put in there? My good tomatoes. Oh, look at that. Just one can. Now, you know what? This recipe, well, if you call it a recipe, I don't really call it a recipe. But this method is very, very easy to double, triple. It doesn't look like much right now, but it will by the time we get done. It's very easy to double this recipe, to triple it, to make as much as you need. Okay? All right. Now I'm going to turn the heat down to simmer. I'm going to let these get familiar. I want my vegetables to get soft. That's the point of it. So when my vegetables are nice and soft, and kind of mashable, then we'll go on to the next step. All right. Hang on. We're going to do this. Alrighty. Alright, let's take a look. Have you ever gone to find the lid for the pan you're using and you can't find it right away, so you have to get your old junky one out? That's what happened to me. So, see, doesn't match. Does not match. Okay, let's take a look at it. Now, see what we've got here? That looks really good. In actuality, if you wanted to, and I've done this before, you could cook up some pasta and just put this over the pasta like it is, and it would be delicious. You could put in more seasonings, of course, but you know what? Most delicious things start out very, very simply, okay? So, it's the same with this. It's very simple. Now, I did add, probably about a half a can of water on there. And I did put a lid on because I just did not want all of my liquid to evaporate. You can see that that's just barely bubbling. It's not boiling. If you need to add a little water to it, by all means do it, because you don't want it to go dry. So this is taking, to get these where I want them to be, it's probably going to be, around 10 minutes or so. And I think we're pretty much there. Okay. Let's take a look with a fork and see where we're at on that deal. Oh, see? Yeah, I think we're good. Carrots are good. So I'm going to shut this off. And what I'm going to do is, I want to explain this to you. I'm going to take this mixture and I'm going to put it in my blender. Now, you have to understand that when you're putting hot things in your blender, it causes an expansion, and it can cause things to fly up, and it can cause your lid to pop off, and it can cause you to burn yourself. So by all means, exercise caution with that, okay? My particular blender has a lock situation on it, on the lid, which that's fine, but I do open this little portion here to let the steam out a little bit, okay? Just to keep it kind of loose. But I still recommend taking a dish towel, and putting it over the top and holding your lid down, and that way you won't accidentally hurt yourself. And if you're doing a lot of it, I don't have a lot of mixture, but if you're going to do a lot, do it in small batches, okay? That's the important thing. All right, I'm going to blend this up, and then I'm going to put it back in the pan, and I'm going to show you what I have, okay? All right, so hang in there. We're almost there, and we've hardly been doing this any time at all. All right, I'll be right back. Now, see there? I put it in my blender. I don't have that much, and this is a rather large blender. But remember, if you're making a large quantity, please divide it up. Don't try to do it all at once, because that's, number one, it's not safe, and number two, it really isn't efficient, okay? All right, I'm going to blend this up, and you notice I've rinsed my pan out with cool water so that there's no bits or pieces in there. And I'm going to take the blended mixture, I'm going to put it back in my kettle. Okay, hang on, we're going to do this. All right, I hope you can see how that's blended up. But I forgot to mention to you, and this is, you can do it either way, but I forgot to mention to you that once it's in the blender, and it's the consistency that I want, broken down enough, I'm going to add my almond milk. Now, you can add the almond milk after you've blended it, put it back in the pan, and then add the almond milk, because what you're going to do, you're going to heat it back up again. But frankly, I kind of like the way it is when I put in the milk, whether it's almond milk or regular milk. I like the way that the consistency of it when it is blended. So I'm going to add a little bit of this in here, a little bit at a time, because I don't want to add too much. I don't want it to be too thin. I'm not adding a thickener to this. So also, you know, this is gluten-free. If you make it like this, it is gluten-free and it is delicious. So, okay, I'm going to add my milk a little bit at a time, and then I'll show you the consistency that I have, and we're going to heat this back up. All right, hang on, we're coming back. All right, here we are. Now, I want you to look at the consistency of this. It's pretty thick, isn't it? So what I'm going to do, I have added 1 cup of almond milk in here. Now keep in mind, you can use any nut milk that you want. You can use cow's milk, whatever you want to give it that creamy consistency, you can do it. Now, I'm going to add a little bit more. I have another cup of almond milk. I'm just going to do part of it at a time, because I just want to, until it comes to the consistency that I want it to be. Now, one reason why I put carrots in here is because of the flavor and the nutrition, but another reason is because of that beautiful color. It's not just red. It's that beautiful orange color. And you know what? And I've made it this way before. If you don't want to use carrots, use sweet potatoes. That's what I said. You can cube up some sweet potatoes and put them in too. It's really, really good. All right. Now, I did salt and pepper this a little bit more. I'm just doing it as I go along here. And so you can see what this looks like. Now, is this more trouble than opening up a can of soup? Well, yes, I guess it is. But is it delicious? Is it very inexpensive? Yes, it is. Is it homemade? Yes, it is. It's homemade with a little help. All right, so what do you think of that? Now, that, I could actually have mine a little bit thinner than that. And I probably will. But I'm going to bring this back up to heat. And I'm going to, I think I'm just going to give it one more splash of almond milk. And I'll be right back. All right, I'm going to add about a half a cup more. So we're looking at, 2.5 cups of almond milk. Now you can see that's made quite a bit more, hasn't it? Oh gosh, it's so good. See those little dark specks in there? Part of that's probably from a little bit of the pepper, but part of that is because these are fire roasted tomatoes. And if you noticed when I put them in the pan, the fire roasted tomatoes had the dark specks on them. That's because they're fire roasted. If you use regular tomatoes, canned tomatoes, you won't have that. And another thing, goodness sake, if you can tomatoes that are home canned, use them. How much, that even much better. Okay, all right, now look at that. Isn't that good? And if you feel that you want a little more chunky, make it more chunky. It's up to you. I wish that you could smell this, how really, really good this is. I really wish you could smell it. It's delicious. I'm going to stick my fork in here. I want to give a little taste, since I don't have a spoon handy. It's good. Now listen, I don't mind if mine's a little bit acidic, but if you don't want that, by all means, sprinkle a little bit of sugar in there, just enough to bring the acidity down. I don't mind that. I'm fine with that. But if you want to do that, that's great. No problem. Because, you're in charge. Okay? Oh, this is so good. So wonderful. Now then, I think I'm going to eat mine with some saltines. Oh, I love saltines in my tomato soup. I like to put a couple in there and then crunch them up and then eat out the bites of saltine. I don't crush mine up like some do and put it in soup. People do that. That's great if you like it, but I like to float them in there and then eat them as I go. Another thing is so good with this. How about a toasted cheese sandwich? Oh, so good. Or how about a panini? Oh, you know how I make paninis? I use one skillet to cook the paninis in, and then I use my cast iron skillet to weight them down. I don't have a panini maker. So I use my cast iron skillet to weight down the paninis. They come out great every time. I mean, why not? So you don't need special tools. Just use your imagination. Okay, here it is. I think you're going to love this. Now hang on. I'm going to dish some up and I'll show you what it looks like. But I'm going to, don't you love the color? Look at the color. Oh, so good. I'm going to raise the heat up to a tad, and then I'm going to dish this up. You can see what it looks like. And you know what? Just remember, what did we have? We had some carrots, celery, onion chopped up. We had a can of tomatoes. We had olive oil and salt and pepper. And we had some almond milk. You can use any nut milk that you want to. Or you can use cow's milk. You can use cream. You can use whatever you want. But remember, if you do it this way, you don't need any thickening. You don't need flour, cornstarch, or anything. So what you have is a beautiful vegan if you want to, and gluten-free, okay? All right, I'm going to come back. I'm going to show you how great this looks. All right, be back. Oh, golly, doesn't that look good? Look at that green bowl and that. Oh my gosh, it looks like Christmas. I love this. I always eat my soup with a big spoon. I know, because I want big bites in my soup. I gotta have that. I know. It's a little weird, but I've just always been that way. Look at these. These are some great crackers. I'm not doing a plug for these, but I didn't even know they made these. They're saltine minis, and I thought, oh, aren't those cute? My daughter-in-law picked these up when she was here. So guess what? I'm going to float a couple of those in there. Oh, yum. I know. You guys wish you were me right now, don't you? Yes, you do. Come on. Admit it. Admit it. This is going to be hot. Let me blow it first. I'm going to have a bite. Mmm. Mmm. Mmm, good. Mmm. Mmm. It's warm and soothing and comforting. And you know, some foods are just naturally comfort foods. And this is one of them. I know it's strange, but you know that for a generation of people, or two, creamy tomato soup is a childhood memory and comfort food. Mmm. Mmm. Good. So good. All right. There it is. Homemade tomato soup. I hope you give it a try. Okay? All right. I love you. You can do this. I got faith in you. Simple food, simple life. Yum, yum, yum. You can make this quickly. You really can. Because you're not pausing every time you're filming it, right? Okay. I love you guys. You can do it. Okay. I have to eat this now. Okay? I like to eat it while my crackers are still crunchy. All right. I love you. You take care, and you just remember that little is much when God is in it. Talk to you later. Bye.